What's up, everybody? I'm gonna do a very interesting, what I think might be interesting, um, look into some of the things I do at home in terms of my sauna, my ozone machine. So I got my ozone machine set up here. Um, I'm gonna talk about the various uses, but I think the way I really want to do this is um, I want to do an rectal insufflation with my ozone bag. So I'm going to fill that up while this is warming up. All right. Let's see how we got it going. Okay. So I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to yeah, so I have myself going in my ear at the same time, which is a little bit distracting, but that's okay because we're going to figure this thing out. So this is setting up, this is warming up. I'm going to get this to about 140 degrees. Good. All right. Okay, so I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to take the audio out of my ear. I'm going to turn on my ozone machine. So to do that, also when I was explaining the rectal insufflation, I know this is kind of crazy, but I'm going to be putting the ozone into this bag. This will fill up, and then I have this in here, in which I will insert into my bum. Yeah. And then as all of this fills up with ozone gas, I'm going to then unclamp it and release it into my rectum while I'm inside. So that should be interesting, or maybe not. And then as I'm finishing up the sauna session, then I will go and kind of release whatever comes up or comes out. So at that point, I will not be on camera, but I'm going to try to do this without revealing too much because obviously I'm about to get naked, okay? So actually, I think the way that I could probably do this is I could wear my underwear while I'm in here, but you know, that doesn't help when it comes to doing the rectal insufflation. So anyway, if you are interested in some of these things, feel free to chat with me. It's going to be very difficult to do chats while I am sweating and my hands are all wet with sweat, but I'll do my best. Okay. So first and foremost, I'm going to turn on my ozone machine. We're going to get this to pretty potent levels. So here we go. We are opening the oxygen tank. So I'm opening up my oxygen tank. I have the Longevity Resources ozone set up. And so we're going to just connect all of this. This goes in there like that. There we go. So now we got oxygen going into the flask here. And then this port here is for the ozone out. And I have it running through water so it kind of moistens it a little bit, so it's not so harsh. Because ozone treatments can be a bit drying to the tissue, and so I'm going to alleviate that by running it through the water. Okay, so this is the destruct system that I'm not going to use. It's a carbon charcoal filter. I could do the insufflation just through the ears, but because I have headphones on, I'm not going to do that. Of course, duh. So I'm going to take this one off. Another thing that I'll probably do in the future is I will run the ozone out into the sauna while I'm in the sauna, but I'll do that maybe for another video. Okay, so we've got the oxygen going. I have the settings, the flow rate at 1/8, and I want to get as much potency as I can out of my my ozone machine, so I'm going to go to 99.9 gamma. So got everything hooked up, we're good to go, so I'm going to turn it on. And to get to 99 gamma, I need to be at 1/8 and 10. on the Longevity Resources system. And the thing I like about their system is that they have this calibrated exactly to my machine, my device, and so it works really, really well. Some of the other things you see here is I can put olive oil in these here, and I can run this through a nasal cannula, and I can inhale the beneficial part of ozone, and the non-beneficial part of the ozone system gets absorbed through the oil. So sometimes I do a nasal insufflation and just kind of breathe while I'm doing work, especially throughout like the cold and flu season and things like that. I like to do that. A lot of times I do it in the ear insufflation, and that is, you don't have to do that through an oil. You can just do that through the water like I'm doing. So anyway, I'm going to take this out and I'm going to fill this up. I'm obviously sort of stalling a little bit because I want the ozone, or sorry, the sauna system to heat up. Right now we're at about 128 degrees. That's good, nice and hot. So now I'm going to let's undo this part. Yeah. I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, so if you were in here now, you'd be able to smell, whew, that's a very potent smell. And so because I have the ozone destruct system connected, and I have the flow of ozone going into this destruct system, you don't smell the ozone. Because obviously if you, I don't know if it's obvious, but if you smell ozone or you get it into your lungs, it can be very, very problematic, and so you don't want that. The lung tissue are very sensitive to ozone. It's a very powerful antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal. It has a lot of important properties for killing bacteria and fungus and viruses and all kinds of stuff. Depending on how you choose to insufflate or to consume it will depend on, you know, the efficacy of the ozone. But what I'm going to do today, like I said, is rectal insufflation on camera while we're here. So so the ozone is flowing through this carbon, this destruct system. I'm going to now connect the hose of the bag that I'll be using to do the insufflation. So I'm going to set down the destruct system here, and I'm going to plug this into the side, and then I'm going to make the flow stop going into the destruct system and have it go into the bag. And so while I'm kind of setting up everything else, you'll notice that this bag is going to fill up. So we'll allow for that to happen here. So it's kind of flowing through. You hear that it's turned on. I'm now going to prepare for the getting into the sauna, and also for the insufflation. So the way I'm going to do that is, and bear with me because I know this is like not your typical live, but me being a biohacker and working in the health and wellness field, a lot of people ask me about various products that I use, and they also want to kind of see how it works. And of course, you know, you may have lots of information on YouTube and various websites that show you how to set these things up, but sometimes it's easier just to kind of follow someone you trust. Hopefully you trust me and all this stuff. Obviously you want to make sure that you're only using this as advice, because I'm not giving any kind of prescription, the normal disclaimers, right? Like, I'm not a doctor. I do work with lots of clients. I do a lot of experiments on myself, and then I do pass on some of my experiences, my results from those experiences. I pass those on to various clients, family, friends, and just anyone in need. But I don't want you to misconstrue this as medical advice. That disclaimer I gotta put out there, okay? So while this is filling up, I'm going to now change into my towel, and then the funny part is I'm literally going to, I have to lubricate my bum, because we need to be able to get that, this little catheter here, we need to be able to get this to slide up my butt, okay? So that's what we're going to do. All right, so I'm gonna, once I get this bag full of ozone, then I will clip it to stop the flow of ozone, turn all this off, connect this tip, and then I'll get inside and kind of let the magic happen. Now, the reason why I'm doing this 1-2 punch here is because I want to be able to try to get as many toxins out as possible. Before setting up the ozone and before setting up this video and before setting up the sauna, I took some charcoal capsules, the coconut charcoal capsules. I took 4 capsules because I want to make sure that whatever I'm getting rid of, whatever toxins that I'm getting rid of while I'm in this infrared sauna and while I'm also doing an ozone insufflation, both of these means are really good at detoxing the body, but you don't want all of those toxins to then go back into the bloodstream. So you want to make sure and get rid of those. And one of the really good ways of doing that is to use a binding agent, some kind of binder. So a lot of times I'll take charcoal. I'll also do things like I took some high potency turmeric. Sometimes I do methylene blue, and that is by way of transcriptions, the blue carnitine trochase, or I even have like methylene blue drops that I'll take, just because once that becomes in contact with infrared light, it ends up boosting the mitochondria of the cells, which is kind of amazing via the photosynthesis. Okay, so I love combining various methods, so I'm doing it all right now, but the main thing is that we want to capture any of those toxins and metals that need to get out of the body. We want to capture that with the charcoal because it's so fine that it can really capture those waste products, and then you can pass that when you go to the bathroom, urinating, defecating, all of those kind of things help to kind of get rid of those things that are being captured. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm doing that. Okay, as you see, the bag is filling up a little bit, so I'm going to kind of hurry up to this next part. Okay, so take this off. I'm going to step into the bathroom to put on my towel because I don't know what is being seen here. I'll be right back. And voila. Okay, I'm back. Also, as I mentioned, I need to put some oil around my bum. So we've got some coconut oil here. Actually, I even have avocado oil. Yeah, I'll do the coconut oil. That's probably the easiest to do at this point. So we got new coconut oil here. So now, one of these days I'll have this set up to where I can make sure to chat with you while we're doing this, but some of these protocols I'm not going to be able to do that with, okay? So here's the coconut oil. I'll do this when I get inside. Okay. So this is how much ozone is gone inside here. I think that's a pretty good amount. We don't want to go too crazy on how much we put in there, but this is at 99.9 gamma filling up into this, and gamma is just a measure of potency of the ozone. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and click this, turn this off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get inside and let the magic happen. Okay, so we're going to clip this and turn that off like that. Okay, this water that's being produced here can also be utilized for drinking or for other types of insufflation. But for now, we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this off. Turn all of that off. And then I like to unplug here because I don't want this water to go back up into the machine. That's a no-no. Okay, so we're good to go. Now I'm going to connect the catheter So that'll be fun. Connect the catheter. And remember, this is going to go in here. Okay. So, yeah, I guess I can go ahead and let me apply this in the bathroom. Okay. All right, so coconut oil is applied. Now for the fun. So I'm gonna get in the sauna. The sauna is at 127 degrees. Once I get inside, I'll take the towel off and then I'll use one or both of these towels to do the work. Okay, you know what? Actually, I just decided that, you know, I think I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'll do it inside. Why not? Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Okay. Oh yeah, it's a hot one in there. It is nice and warm inside. Okay. Yeah. Nice and warm. Okay. So, we've got that. I'm gonna close this up. Okay. And now, you can't really see much going on inside here, but trust me, there's things happening. So I'm gonna somehow get this towel off. That was tricky. Okay. All right, so I've got the towel off, and now I'm gonna take this towel out so I can use this to wipe off later. It goes like that. I'm also gonna put this little brace up so the sauna is kind of out of my way and I can maneuver a little bit better. There we go. I know some of the heat is escaping, but that's okay. All right. And then I'm gonna replace the towel that I was sitting on because it kind of moved a little bit. I'm sitting on a towel because I want to make sure that, you know, some of this soap gets soaked up. Okay. So now, remember that bag that I had? This is going inside. Okay. So, I'm gonna zip this up like so. Like that. I think this is a good way to do it. Okay, so this is going up my bum. Wait. It's harder than I thought to do this like this. Okay, yeah, I have to do this on the inside, I guess. Okay. This is so random, I know. All right, so I'm putting this in, inserting it into my bum. Okay, yeah, that is, it's up there. It is up there. Okay, and so now we take the bag and we insert. Or we take the bag and we press. So I think the best way to do this is probably like this. So, oh, I have to unclip it, duh. So I unclip it. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to insert and kind of give this a bit of a squeeze, kind of like a whoopee cushion. And one of the things I can tell you for sure is that as you press this in, it's weird because it feels kind of like a reverse fart. And you kind of feel pressure. But this is one of the best ways to get ozone to go to consume ozone beyond an IV. And an IV is difficult because you have to have a good phlebotomist, you have to have someone there with you doing it. But doing it this way, you can get very, very potent results from ozone, because the moment it comes into contact with the walls of the anus, it immediately turns into oxygen, and oxygen, as we know, is a very powerful bacterial killer, and most diseases and disease states cannot, I notice I'm doing this very slowly, but most disease states cannot survive in the presence of oxygen. So that's why this is doing its thing. Okay, there we go. All right, so I had to really give it a good push so it could go up in there. It's going in, and like I said, because you're getting air and ozone, it really feels like it's a reverse fart. So I feel my stomach rumbling right now. I know this might be TMI for some of you, but for those of you who really are into this kind of stuff, this is a really good way to get some benefits from oxidative therapy, as we call it. Okay, so there's that. And then now the trick is trying to keep this inside your body cavity for as long as possible without having to just run and jump to the toilet. So I know some of you might be asking, like, well, how long should you keep it in, and do you have to immediately go to the bathroom and things like that? And the answer is no. Yeah, I think every person's situation is probably different. So while I don't have to necessarily go to the bathroom right away, it does require some restraint, okay? So I'm gonna pull the catheter out. As you see, the bag is completely closed. I pull out the catheter, and we'll just toss that behind so no one has to see any of that. Okay, and now close this back up. And the idea here is to just kind of breathe through this. Okay, now I'll grab the phone and kind of see if there's any chats going on, see what's happening. I'm also gonna turn off this footstone, because the footstone gets really hot. So let's turn that bad boy off. Okay. Close this up. All right, so let's go to see if anybody's asking questions. I want to go to the stream. I don't know if questions will pop up on here like that. Oh yeah, I do have live chats open. How do live chats work? Okay. Sauna and ozone therapy. Portable infrared sauna and rectal ozone insufflation. Okay. So I'm just kind of checking out this live, see how it's going. Okay, so while I'm on the live, let me know if there's any questions. I realize that I'm just now kind of getting these things started in terms of doing lives like this, but I want to try to build an audience, and again, like I realize that I have a lot of learning to do when it comes to doing lives. I think one of the things I need to do for sure is to have some kind of help in terms of a moderator or producer or somebody that can, especially if I'm doing things like this where I don't have access to the chats and things like that. Like I want to fix that. Now, if I'm not in my sauna, if I'm using my normal setup with my GoPro in the living room, which is where I'm now conducting all of my podcast interviews and things like that, it's a little bit easier for me to figure out how to work that, because I can share my screen, I can chat live, I can do a lot of things. So I'll get to that. I have recently just recorded a video with the Echo Clean, which is this non-toxic chemical, non-toxic cleanser, I should say. And it uses either just water, which creates hypochlorous acid via electrolysis. And if you add like 100% or 99% refined salt to that, you can create which is known as hypochlorite, sodium hypochlorite. So it's a pretty cool product, and it's really, really fun. Right now, just for any of you that are curious, I'm really having to focus on keeping the contents of my body inside right now. So it's kind of like when you have diarrhea and you don't have a bathroom nearby, that's kind of what I'm experiencing. So I'm just kind of trying to breathe through this and focus and meditate through this. But I'm gonna try to stay on for another 2 minutes or so we can get to 30 minutes. And hopefully this is some good content for you guys. All right. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm gonna turn this off. See